break, great Christmas and New Year. Fully recovered for a great year ahead. So thanks again for the partnership over the last year. We look forward to continue that partnership. So today I'll be your host here for the webinar. And we have lots of guests and lots of things to cover. So let's jump into it. So I will start with top of mind for January, some of the main events happening and conference here in New Zealand. I'll quickly run through some of the technical courses happening here in New Zealand as well. Then I'm going to hand over to Rick Plaster, which is the Surface and Mixed Reality product manager. And we'll talk about the Elevator Place Roadshow. We have Paul Balkett, well known for the New Zealand community, to talk about change coming to Microsoft 365 offers. Francois Evans Plunder, our Dynamics ERP lead for APAC, talking about some updates around business apps conferences happening soon. Miguel Rojas, which is part of the SMB team, covering some updates around Azure and CSP. Then I will talk about improvements on partner support. I know this is a hot topic. We have been talking about change coming for a while, and they finally landed. So stay tuned. And then we have Annalyn, our education channel manager, talking about school agreements with Microsoft. And as usual, we're going to have some time for Q&A at the end of the session. So top of mind for January, usually we have Pip covering this. Pip is away on a business trip doing some marketing planning. So for those of you who might ask about partner awards and Inspire and all of that, she'll have more details next month. So in February, we're going to share details about hotels for Inspire, as well as what's happening with partner awards this year. So we'll see you next month to cover those topics with Pip here. So for the coming months, it's been a great start for this year so far. We have lots of conferences coming up. Just want to make sure we are all across those conferences. So first one that I'll cover is the AI Day. Some of you might have seen and attended this conference last year, the second edition. And this year, there will be about 600 business leaders learning about innovation with AI and really discussing how AI is helping to shape the society here in New Zealand. So there will be industry experts, Microsoft speakers, as well as speakers from other vendors there on the day to talk about AI. So the conference itself is a today's conference on the 27th and the 28th here in Auckland. But towards April, we're gonna have the conference will also organize a Hackfest as well as some AI workshops. So you can find more details and the agenda, and you can either join the three of them or just choose the part that you are most interested about: workshops, conference, or the Hackfest around AI. The second big conference, and this is actually the largest Microsoft data platform conference here in New Zealand, is Definity. We have had several editions, and this year it's shaping up to be another great year. It will be a 3 days conference with more than 40 technical sessions. Uh, so if you are a business intelligence analyst, a developer, an IT decision maker, database administrator, a cloud architect, there's something for you there. So there will be three different tracks this year. One around data platform, another one around business intelligence, and the third one around analytics. So lots of great content and great opportunity to network. We will be bringing some engineers from Microsoft Corp. So the people that actually make those products will be talking about what's the roadmap for some of our business intelligence solutions, big data, and so forth. So great conference as well happening in Auckland. Third, but also very important one, is still a bit far from now, but there's a big announcement regarding discounted tickets. So Inspire is the our main conference for partners. It's the place where you go to understand more about Microsoft future strategies. Major announcements happen at Inspire, and what happened since 2018, since last year, is that Microsoft merged Inspire, which is our major partner conference, with Microsoft Ready, which is our major Microsoft internal conference. So what does that mean for your partners? It basically means that there's more Microsoft people around than you can actually imagine. So opportunity to network with professionals from other countries, other industries, and in different parts of the world. So last year we had a record of 18,000 attendees coming to Inspire, and we had more than 44,000 online views, live stream views on the Inspire website. We are looking into breaking this record this year, hoping to have more than 20,000 attendees. So there's a promotion in place right now for discounted tickets, 2,000, just below 2,000 US dollars. This offer expires in the end of February. So next month, before the offer expires, we're gonna make another reminder on that. But we're also gonna share details about the hotels where New Zealand partners and Microsoft employees will be staying, and other details about local parties, Asia Pacific parties, and so forth. So stay tuned. Watch this space, and people bring more news about this topic next month. Now I'm gonna hand over to Rick Plester, who's gonna talk about the Elevator Workplace Roadshow. So Ricky, over to you.
Thanks, Vitor, and hi everyone. To continue on in the theme of events, I'm going to talk to you now about the Elevate Your Workplace event, which is a Microsoft-led event that's going to be taking place across February, March, and April of this year. So for those of you who are Auckland-based, the Elevate event may have a familiar sound to it. We ran it last year for the very first time. And as I mentioned, it is a Microsoft-led modern workplace event. So last year we had it in Shed 10 in Auckland. And what we did was really highlight the opportunity to both partners and customers to look at their own workplace and understand how the Microsoft solution could help kind of bring them into a modern working environment. With this, we talked about the benefits and features of M365 and also the tie-in to modern devices. So not just Surface, but also our OEM partners like HP, Lenovo, and Dell, and how a modern device can impact a user when it's paired with the M365 solution. So this year, we're doing things a little bit differently. Rather than have one sort of standalone event in Auckland, we're going to visit 10 locations throughout New Zealand. So we're starting in Dunedin at the end of February and traveling all the way up the country with Auckland on the 10th of April being the final event. I do have later on in the slide deck a full list of the locations. So what are we going to be talking about at this event? Well, an important piece of kind of the modern workplace, we believe, is the people at the center of it. So we talk about the impact of the modern workplace on a company's culture. We talk about the technology that you might require and also the space that you operate in and how those three things combine to deliver a really outstanding experience to users. One of the things we dive into is the impact that it has on the people in an organization who have kind of gone on a modern workplace strategy. So we believe it helps to attract really good people to join your organization, helps to keep them engaged once they have joined, and then it's about enabling and inspiring them to do their best work. And that's kind of going to be the theme of the event. So with that in mind, we want to call out that it's not necessarily a typical IT audience, that we really encourage, C-level attendees, sales teams, sales leaders, people managers, HR teams, marketing and communications professionals, because this really spans across the full kind of range of roles in an organization. And it's also, I think, particularly relevant for both SMBs right through to enterprise. The structure of the event is going to change depending on the location. In the slightly smaller locations, such as Nelson or Whangarei, we're going to do one event that combines both partner attendees and customer attendees, and that's kind of to ensure that we have, a full room there. At the bigger events, again, kind of at capacity reasons, we are going to separate both the partner session and the customer session. So we'll run those one after another, partner first and then customer second. We really encourage you, if you're interested, in attending the partner session in the morning and then perhaps hosting some customers in the afternoon, then that's absolutely fine. And you can kind of help guide your customers through the day and answer any questions that they may have then and there. The other opportunity of the event is that we will have sort of 4 speakers at each event, but we will have breakout sessions where you can come and see the technology or the solutions or the ideas that we've just discussed and come to life in the form of demonstrations. And you can talk to the presenters and ask follow-up questions and ensure that that you've got all the information that you need to kind of help your customers on the journey to the modern workplace. So what I will encourage you to do is keep an eye out in your inbox or speak to your partner development manager if you have one of those for the full breakdown of the events. But here's a high-level summary of kind of the dates and the venues that we're looking at. Sorry, not the venues yet, just the cities that we're looking at. So as I mentioned, starting in Dunedin on the 26th of February, we kind of cover the South Island relatively quickly, 26th, 27th, 28th in Dunedin, Christchurch and Nelson. And then in the first week of March, we've got Wellington, Palmerston North and New Plymouth in relatively quick succession. We have then decided to take a little bit of a break to allow everyone to close out March because we understand it is a pretty busy month for everyone involved. And we kick off again on the 2nd of April in Hamilton, the 4th of April in Tauranga, Whangarei on the 9th, finishing in Auckland on the 10th of April. So we will do a big push for our customer attendees, but really encourage you to not only sign up yourself to attend these events, but also share it with your customers because it will be a relatively unique event for Microsoft to be visiting some of these regions and telling that modern workplace story. So any questions, please feel free to ping us in the chat box now on Teams. Otherwise, keep an eye out in your inbox for the full details of these events. And we hope to see you all there. Thanks, Vitor.
Thank you, Rick, for the update. Great to hear that the event's going to several different cities this year. We always have requests from partners and customers around the country and ask, oh, when you come into my city, And we do know that many times that these bigger events, they end up being on the big city center. So that's a good opportunity for partners on other cities. So people, in case you are wondering, this session is being recorded. We're going to share that afterwards. So you can review, you can share with your colleagues. And also the slide deck will be available on Yammer tomorrow. So all the links, all the details we are sharing here, you'll be able to access that. So I'll quickly run you guys through some of the things we got planned for February and March in regards to technical training. There's a lot around Azure, as you might expect. There's so many new capabilities and things happening around Azure, and you have to keep up with that. So we're running a few interesting trainings on the coming months. So first of them, it's around implementing Azure SQL database managed instances. So technical training, 2 days training happening here in Auckland. What I will do, if you're, I'm going to share the slides tomorrow, but if you are interested in any of those training courses, just email nzpartner@microsoft.com, and we're going to share the registration details, full agenda, and all of that with you. So implementing Azure SQL Database Managed Instance happening on the beginning of March. The second one we have is around Azure Cosmos DB, which is a hot topic. I have heard many partners asking us about this type of training. This will be a 3 days technical training in Auckland as well. Then we have SAP on Azure, also a very interesting training. We are bringing top trainers from overseas that will cover how to make or to implement or migrate SAP HANA to Azure. Very, very critical workload, and we have seen a lot of demand for that. The last but not least important is around Azure migration tools. So for those of you that are getting started with Azure, Microsoft has a series of tools that can help you access different environments and help you build a migration plan of apps that can be migrated, things that you should do first, and help you throughout the way. So we have many partner tools and offers to assist you with those migrations, and we're going to be covering some of that, giving you some hands-on experience, as well as the full toolkit so that you can go out there and help your customers migrate workloads to the cloud. Also, this is one happening at the end of February, beginning of March. It's going to be a 3 days technical training as well. Again, I'll share full details with you guys, technical people. Please have a look and let us know what you're interested on. Now, on business application, also a very interesting topic. We have heard many Dynamics partners asking us when would we have finance and operations training in country. So we're going to have one at the beginning of March covering how to upgrade Dynamics AX 2012, R2 and R3 to Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. 3 days technical training happening in Auckland. Also bringing very experienced trainers from overseas to cover this critical solution for us. We are on the process of updating the calendar at the Partner Hub. So every time you hear me speaking, you will hear me talking about the Partner Hub and the calendar that's in there. So all the events that you are talking here will be uploaded there by the end of the week. So if you need to find a link apart from the training slides that we're going to share, we can always go to the Partner Hub and look for what's coming. There's more happening. Just covering some of the major technical courses happening in country, but there's a series of webinars and other conferences that you can check at the Partner Hub, as well as some special offers from our learning partners here in New Zealand. Now we have Paul Balkett that's going to talk about some major updates on Microsoft 365. Over to you, Paul.
Thanks, Vitor. It's really great to be back on this call. I haven't had the pleasure to talk to all of you for some time, and it's great to see so many familiar faces on the call. So hopefully most of you are keeping across the news with Microsoft 365 as our lead offering for modern workplace and productivity solutions. We announced some updates to the packaging for our E5 service, and actually more specifically our advanced security and compliance solutions just a few weeks ago. And so I wanted to just cover off some of those announcements. This is really targeted at typically larger organizations or organizations with very specific compliance and security requirements. Most of you will know that we have our premium offering in Microsoft 365 E5, which of course includes Office 365 E5 plus EMS E5 and Windows E5. And so for a lot of organizations though, whilst the value is very compelling in it, many organizations didn't necessarily need all of that capability, or they wanted certain components of it to be sort of brought together. And so what we've done is we've broken out E5 into a couple of other security bundles. And so this is what the current packaging looks like today. If you look across the pillars of security compliance there, you'll see, for instance, in Office 365 E5, we have advanced threat protection, we have the cloud app security, and threat intelligence as an example. We also have other components of EMS and then Windows Defender as part of Windows E5. And so what we've done is we've now bundled those security offerings together. I'm going to build this slide out, and we've created a new bundle called the Identity and Threat Protection suite, if you like. And so this would typically be an organization that you need to own, and prerequisite for it is Microsoft 365 E3, and then you can add this suite to it. So if an organization didn't want to make the leap to go all the way to E5, you can step up to from E3 to add the Identity and Threat Protection bundle, and that includes all of the previous components that were part of the security aspect of E5, if that makes sense. So a great solution for organizations that are looking for just the specific identity and threat management components. And then the second part of our announcement was around the compliance piece. And so you'll see on the compliance pillar, we had the Office 365 Advanced Compliance, and then Azure Information Protection Plan 2 as part of E5. And now we've included, I'll build that slide out, we've now included a new bundle called the Information Protection and Compliance Bundle for just $10. And so what this really means is, again, just to reiterate, for organizations that don't want to make the leap all the way to E5, perhaps they don't need the phone system add-on, or maybe they don't need Power BI Pro, they just want a collection of security services, then they could buy the Identity and Threat Protection bundle, or they need information protection and compliance, so they could buy just that bundle. Obviously, by the time you add the two together, it's only another couple of dollars to go to E5, and so it would make more sense to buy E5 directly, which is still available, of course. So I'm going to build these slides out a little bit more. We're also removing My Analytics as a standalone product. So I'm just going to build this out and just cover those points in a little bit more detail. So just to summarize again, we're introducing a new SKU. It's specifically for Microsoft 365 E3 users. So that's not Office 365 E3. This is Microsoft 365 E3, and you can add on the identity and threat protection. And you can add on information protection and compliance as a second option. We are merging the current Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection into the Office 365 Threat Intelligence and renaming it and lowering the price of it because there was confusion in the market about the two different offerings and what they did and didn't do. So we're kind of unifying the branding and the naming of our security services across all of our online service platforms, including the Cloud App Security. So we're retiring the Office 365 Cloud App Security, and we're bringing in and really in favor of the Microsoft Cloud App Security. So that's our Cloud Application Security Broker solution. So it brings together all of those components from Office 365 and Azure into one bundle. And then My Analytics is basically included into now all of the Office 365 and Microsoft 365 suites. So you no longer need to buy My Analytics as a standalone plan, or you no longer need to buy E5 to get My Analytics. So great news. There was a question on the New Zealand partner Yammer, I think back in maybe December, maybe it was early January, asking about whether partners could get My Analytics. The great news is you already all have E3, Office 365 E3, and so because of the news, the last bullet point on the slide, you'll automatically get My Analytics as we roll it out to all E3 tenants as well. And so a couple of things staying the same. So E5 is absolutely our hero motion. You can count on our account teams and our marketing messaging to all still be around Microsoft 365 E5 as our hero motion for enterprise, and then for Microsoft 365 business for our SMB segment. Office 365 E5 itself will continue to have the Cloud App Security built in, even though we're kind of bundling it together with the broader suite. There's no change to the audio conferencing and phone system. Actually, just while I'm on that point, I'll just quickly mention, I think I've discussed this before on this or other calls. Obviously, we are migrating people to Teams now from Skype for Business. Hence, while we're running this call ourselves down Teams, but you'll also see new announcements coming out from lots of different telcos, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 telco providers who have announced or will be announcing shortly their plans to support Teams for voice. So just be aware that you can, with E1 or higher, you can add a phone system on top of that, and then buy SIP line from one of the approved voice providers, and you can get full voice with Teams in New Zealand with phone number allocation and PST connectivity. So just keep that in mind as a quick little plug on that one. No change to Power BI. The existing Office is not so relevant per se here, but just they're all remain the same for enterprise agreement customers and things like that. And then, in fact, actually, we're reducing the price of some products. So the new packaging actually doesn't result in price increases. The security and compliance offer actually reduces the price compared to purchasing standalone offerings. Okay, so if you were on E3, you can step up to either one of those bundles, or you can go straight to E5, which currently is about $25 step up price. I think I've got on here. So E3, $32 US per user per month, and then you can go up to E5, $25 per user per month to go up to E5, or you buy the identity package at $12 and the compliance one at $10. and that is based on US pricing just at the moment. This launches in March for online customers and CSP, and for EA customers in April, just so you know timing. So $12 is a step up for identity and threat protection, and then or $12, excuse me, and then $10 for the compliance and information protection. And then the additional cost to go with audio conferencing and phone system would mean that you simply are better off just purchasing E5 from the outset. And so, yeah, this is just a summary slide that just shows the features across each of the plans. I'm going to pretty much wrap up there. If anyone has any questions, please jump in, pop them in the IM window, or you can contact me separately on this. As you can see, Microsoft's pretty serious about being a major security vendor, and we think we've rounded out our offerings pretty nicely now, and we think this new packaging will fit the market quite well in terms of how organizations need and want to consume security for cloud-based services. Oh, I just see there's one question coming, so I'll just quickly answer that. Where is more info on the Teams, PSD, and voice? Where to configure the SIP? Okay, so thank you for the question. So definitely longer discussion than I've got right now, but already in the New Zealand market, we have Kordia and an organisation called TeleSmart, and there's a couple of other organisations about to announce. In fact, Sparks announced their enterprise SIP service for Teams as well. So what you do is you buy your existing customer with Enterprise E1 or E3 or E5 can add phone system to their plan. It's a step-up license they add. That gives you PSTN and PBX capability, and then you buy the SIP line and connectivity through one of those providers that I just mentioned, and that'll give you the termination into the local switch network. So happy to take that offline. If anyone's got questions about that stuff, I'm leading a bunch of work with that at the moment. There will be more telcos coming on board with it. So feel free, anyone can email me, paul.bowkett, that's BOWKETT at Microsoft.com, or just nzpartner at Microsoft.com, and we'll be able to help you out on those. So with that, guys, thanks for, I'm going to skip over these last few slides. That's just a summary slide there. You'll get all of these slides, by the way, when we send them, pop them on Yammer tomorrow. But just a summary slide that includes all of the enterprise plan summary features as well, just for a refresher. I'm more than happy to chat with anyone on this at any time in the future. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Francois.
Thanks, Paul. Hey guys, so my name is Francois. I'm the product marketing manager for Dynamics here in New Zealand. What I wanted to take you guys through today is just a couple of events that we think is very applicable to all our partner network out there. Beyond what Vitor has already shared from a readiness perspective, we do have some really good international events that we would love to get you guys across, and they do represent a great opportunity to get face-to-face with some of our developer experts, as well as some of the leadership across our business applications platforms, and get some great insights. So the first one I'll talk about is coming up quite quickly. Our Directions Asia event was historically been for our NAV install base, and that's now evolved into Business Central install base. So if you are a NAV partner or you are looking at a Business Central practice, I would highly recommend you look at this, as Directions is sort of one of our key events globally to really showcase our SMB offering, as well as our NAV ecosystem or Business Central ecosystem. So really from a partner perspective, what can you expect out of these events if you haven't already been to one? As really gain an understanding of what Business Central means to you as a partner and from an ecosystem perspective, understand how you can adopt the technology, how you can move from Dynamics NAV, or how you can move your customers that are existing on NAV over to Dynamics 365 Business Central. As also how you can integrate their current technology with some of the wider offerings we bring through our Dynamics 365 platform. Also, areas you can look at is from a business perspective, understanding how you build successful business practices. We've got specialists there talking about all the other aspects, as well as a deeper understanding to how you can utilize extended Microsoft services like Azure, integration into Microsoft 365, as well as AI and machine learning, which will be a key topic for this year around for the event. Of course, beyond that, if there's not a lot of opportunities, you get a chance to mingle with people of like mind. So with a lot of partners from across Asia going to this event, we anticipate there's great opportunities to network as well as expand your contacts throughout the Asia Pac area. For sessions, there will be a number of sessions, including hackathons and workshops you can engage with. I'm not going to go through all these points there. They're readily available on the Directions Asia website to refer to as well. But yeah, based on feedback we had from last year's event, it's a really valuable thing to get along to if you guys can make it. But yeah, just keep an eye out. There is a really good offer at the moment where if you register in the next 2 days, you will get a discount value offer of $345 per person to attend the event. Otherwise, it's $399. So if you were holding on and debating about whether you should be attending, please do so. We will have some of our international. So I don't know if you guys all know, but we have a new head of Business Central as well in Mohammed, who also looks after our Dynamics 365 ERP section. So we'll have him down as a speaker, and there'll be other key speakers there as well. The second event I want to touch on is our Microsoft Business Application Summit. This is an event we relaunched last year, and it actually ran in July in Seattle. It sold out really quickly, and it's basically bringing together a lot of our Power Apps partner ecosystem and an expanded functionality, including BI and Flow, as well as our core Dynamics 365 application base. Very, very successful engaged. I think we sold out quite rapidly last year. This year, they are moving it across to Atlanta. So if you've been across to any other Microsoft events in Atlanta, you know the event center there. But it will be in that June 10 to 11 time period. And really, again, probably the biggest call out there is there are so many different sessions you can attend here. There's over 200 different sessions, lots of different experts, people coming across from Redmond, from product development teams. We've got industry leading experts talking as well. And you can engage across the whole Microsoft Dynamics stack, as well as we will have spokespeople from the wider range of Dynamics or the Microsoft platform there as well. But yeah, some the feedback we have from customers that went last year and partners that went last year was just amazing to see the leaps and bounds we were doing with Power Apps and Power Suite as a general, and how we are actually creating that integration within the bigger Microsoft story, and having that cohesive data flow between all our different solutions. So take this opportunity. Highly recommend you guys look into this if you haven't already. The key speakers for us will be James Phillips and Alyssa Taylor, and they have normally a keynote speaker on the last day that they keep hidden for a little while. But it's $995 US for the full 3-day pass, a full pass for it. We also have a lot of pre-day events running on the Sunday. And they go into more specialized sort of areas. So if you guys are interested, please go to the website, have a look at it. And then if you have any questions, please reach out to us either on Yammer or just direct mail. We're more than happy to answer any questions on that. Any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat window. Otherwise, I am going to hand it over to Miguel to talk to you guys about RIPE, Azure, and CSP.
Thanks, Francois. Hello, everybody. I'm Miguel Rojas. I'm an Azure Technical Specialist. I'm looking after a new CSP indirect provider, which is called RIPE. RIPE has been in the industry for a while as a SPLA partner, selling SPLA licensing to managed services partners. Now they have actually just entered into the market on the CSP as a CSP direct partner, and they've been very, very good about getting new offers into the market. So, for example, we have one offer and two events that they are actually promoting, and this offer is actually a free migration offer from anything into Azure. The details are there on the link. Very much, they actually have a technical specialist that is ready to engage with any of your partners, and help you to actually get any solution into Azure, as long as you actually get the CSP subscription through Ripe. So that offer is actually there, available for everybody. Doesn't matter where you are in the country. And they one of the differentiators of Ripe is that they do not sell direct to customers. So they are a channel organization, and they work through the partner channel. The second um, component they actually are doing, they are being very active on the marketplace. They are creating a yes. Well, there is a question then from Ron. If you can have more than one CSP partner, absolutely, you can have more than one CSP partner. Currently, Ripe, even that is actually doing CSP across everything, they are concentrating, and they are being very direct on Azure. So they are concentrated on Azure currently. But you can actually use them for everything and anything else that you actually would like to. The second component that they actually put in there, they are concentrating on independent vendors, software vendors, and they have a the first ISV day in the marketplace. So what they're actually doing is they are have a event on this Friday, on the 1st of February, where they are actually going to have about three different tracks on this event. One of them is business. So for those of you that actually are already doing managed services, and that are not so good at things such as marketing or any other part of the components on from the business point of view, they are actually talking about business, um, uh, the business part of doing the working on the business rather than actually just looking at the whole technology component part of it. The second component that they actually or tracks that they actually have is the ability to actually have a bunch of technical tracks, half an hour tracks on some of the subjects that are actually covered is planning the transitions from on-premise into the cloud, agile methodology, scaling to the mass from the application point of view, security for Microsoft Cloud, performance and optimization. From the business point of view, they're actually talking about managing cash flow and investments, governance, taking the solution product to the market from the marketing point of view, and how to hire the best expertise, the best people, and how do you actually protect your intellectual property as well. So it's a bunch of things that they actually have on this ISV Day 2.1 is on, if you have, for those of you that are in Auckland that have recognized, it's actually on the Beehive, which is on the Smells Farm. There is a link there. I'll ask the guys to actually um, forward the links and put it on the chat box, so you guys are actually aware of where it is. A couple of more things that they actually have. They have a Dragos Den, where for those businesses that goes and register for the Dragos Den, you can actually win the first ever scholarship value of $10,000, which includes about 1,000 hours of Azure, some development support, the case study, and also the go-to-market support as well. One more thing, that every person that actually registers and shows up will go into the draw to win two tickets for the Microsoft Ignite in Sydney in February, flights and accommodation included. So for those of you that are in Auckland, it will make sense for you to actually, even just for the business part of it, to actually come and hear what these guys actually have to say. third event that they are actually taking to market or offering is Azure Tech Nights, where we have one of their technical consultants um, talking about SQL on Azure, and that actually happens on the 14th of February here at Microsoft. So it's also in Auckland. So the link is actually there as well. Um, do you guys have any questions? Otherwise, I'll get the guys to actually put those links on the chat box for you guys to have. Any questions? My email is changed. My email is now a-miroja, no double M, yeah, at Microsoft.com. So I think it's now back to Victor. Thank you guys and have a good evening.
Thank you, Miguel. So lots of great updates, and great to see that there's a lot of focus on Azure, a lot of events happening, training courses, offers available on the market. So do make the most out of it. So now a very hot topic, partner support. So as a Microsoft employee, I can clearly tell you that this is something that everyone here at Microsoft on the partner world is involved most of time, nearly on a daily basis. And you may believe it or not, but we do work to make it better, right? We know it's hard. We know there are too many pain points, too many different things that you have to look after. But the good news is that since December, there's a global project to revamp the partner support. So Microsoft out of the US put a team together across the whole world to identify what were the major issues happening with support, major types of questions coming through, and what were the blockers we had to make it better. Good news is it's now, I'm not going to tell fully centralized because it might not be 100% at this stage, but we are centralizing everything at the partner portal, right? So for anyone looking for support on different topics like licensing, MPN memberships, agreements, and so forth, I'll cover what topics are included right now. There's a revamped look and feel for the partner support. But more than just the look and feel, the functionality on it has been improved a lot. So here you can see how it looks like. So basically go to partner.microsoft.com. That's the homepage for the MPN program. And then on the top ribbon, you're going to have the support button. When you open it, some of the new things that you're going to notice is the major improvement is to make it possible to get access with less clicks, right? So with a couple of clicks now, you can find support to your needs. So making it easier for you. The second improvement is around the ability to self-serve and get assisted support easily. So we will notice on the bottom right corner, there's a chat with an agent. So if you click there, you're going to start a live chat with one of our agents straight away. Other than that, top partner questions. So on a monthly basis, Microsoft's monitoring what are the top questions coming through, and there will be 10 questions available each and every month based on the most common queries that you receive. So before getting support or asking anything, you can quickly have a look on the top questions. Chances are, if it's a big topic, so for example, competencies that are changing or exams or things like that, you can quickly go there and see if that's already covered on the top partner questions. The other improvement, search capability. So because we have integrated very different support channels and different source of data, now the search feature is way better. So do try it, and you might find the answer without the need to talk to an agent or to chat over the phone with someone. And then, of course, if you need to talk to someone, you just need to navigate through the left. You're going to find area, category, and topic. So as a simulation there, you can look at program and membership, Microsoft Partner Network, and then the topic is MCP. recommended solutions, how to become a Microsoft certified professional, or a frequent question that I have received is how to link or unlink an MCP from a partner organization. You can navigate through those documents and see if you can do it yourself. If not, you go to your support options, which will be chat to an agent, live chat, open a ticket with our support channels, or if you want to call an agent, there's the telephone number there, and the telephone, of course, is going to be showed based on your location, on your language, and it's going to direct you to the New Zealand support. So what are some of the things that can get support through the partner portal now? MPN program, benefits and memberships, billing and payment, incentives, licensing, sales and marketing support for our partners, technical pre-sales and deployment. So those are the advisory hours and things that you have as part of your competence benefits, technical support, agreement and subscription management, and more is being added on a monthly basis. So there's less than a month. Actually, there's about a month now that the new support is online, and we are concentrating all the resources here. So it will get better and better. But in order for it to get better, we do need your help, right? So here you can see where you find the support at the MPN portal. And on the bottom, there are two interesting articles. First is an announcement, an article about what is changing. So if you want to understand a bit more about this improvement that we're doing at the support for partners, you can read the blog post that we have. But my ask for you is do try it, play with it and have a look. I'm really hoping that you find the answers that you need. And if you do, or if you do not, there are some ways you can make us improve the website. So there's on the bottom of the page, was this page helpful? Yes or no? So make sure you click there if it was helpful or not. And another important thing, did this solve your problem? Yes or no? So by doing this, we will have an indication of are we going on the right track? Are the content and answers and support channels we are making available really relevant and attending your needs? And of course, if none of that works, you can always reach nzpartner@microsoft.com, and we're going to be here to support you further. But just for you to understand, the first point of contact has to be the MPN support channel. If you don't have a ticket, if you haven't tried them before, that's always the first place, because otherwise we cannot help you escalate any issues you might be facing. Okay? So once again, this will be shared. Go and try and have a look on it. I'm hoping that it gets better and better over time, and please provide the feedback to us. So now we have our last guest for today, Anna Lim, with Education Channel Manager, and she's going to talk about school agreements with Microsoft.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I'll be quick as I know it's close to the end of the day. So it's mostly a shout out to any partner who is working with any of the schools across New Zealand. So if you haven't heard already, we've recently renewed the Microsoft MOE Schools Agreement as of 1st of Jan this year for the next 3 years. So what's available under the schools agreement is Microsoft 365 A3, which includes anything from Azure Active Directory P1 to Office 365, Windows 10, and Minecraft, as well as Intune and Intune for Education. So if you're not aware of what's included, feel free to email me at anna.lim@microsoft.com. But pretty much all I wanted to say was that as of 1st of Jan, any schools that were on the previous schools agreement would have received an activation link sent to their online services manager or primary contact to activate their new licensing. And if they still haven't seen this come through, it's likely because the email or that it was registered under no longer exists, or perhaps the link has now expired, as it only is active for 24 hours. And considering 1st of Jan was the new year, I assume no one was working that day. So there's a few steps to take following this. The first is to reach out to Datacom, who is the licensing partner for this agreement, and advise your schools to do so, or you as the partner. You can email them at nzschools@datacom.co.nz for a new activation link, as well as changing or updating the online services manager detail for that as well. Secondly, if schools don't have a tenant yet and want to get one, they can email Datacom at the same email to get set up. And lastly, if you're a private school, if you manage any private schools, they're no longer covered under the Microsoft Schools Agreement. So as they were in the previous agreement this year and the next 3 years, they're not. So our advice is to purchase M365 A3 or A5 through a cloud solutions provider. Datacom can also transact this for them as a CSP. And on that note, any schools who want to upgrade to A5 can do so if they're a state or integrated school with the additional step-up costs through Datacom. Thank you. That's all I've got. So feel free to email me if you have any questions at anna.lim@microsoft.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks for covering the school agreement. So now, before we wrap up for today, just opening up for discussions and questions. Feel free to open your microphone or pop the questions into the chat. We're gonna do our best here to answer all of them. So for those of you who might be wondering or who join later today, this session will be recorded and shared tomorrow via Yammer, as well as all the slides with the links. Please provide feedback. As probably all of you have noticed, we are running this on a new platform on Microsoft Teams. We have migrated from Skype. Everything went well, but do let us know if you do have technical issues to join, how was the experience, audio quality, and all of that. So we will do our best here to provide a better experience each and every month. And with that, if there's not any questions, we're going to wrap up for today, and we're going to see you next month in February. So please bookmark the new link at your calendar, because from now on, all the meetings, all the webinars will be on Teams. So if you still have the Skype invite on your agenda, please delete that one. We will no longer use that one. We're going to use only Teams moving forward. So thank you. And I'm going to be here for a couple. Quality was excellent. So thanks for the feedback, Ron. So good to hear. We were a bit nervous. Here's our first time using Teams, but the platform and the interface, I can really tell you, it's great. We used to run it out of Skype. It was good. Not that Skype was bad, but was easier to run it on Teams than it was on Skype, honestly. Cool. So since we have no more questions, we're gonna wrap up. That's all for today. And please feel free to review the slides and the recording tomorrow on Yammer. Thank you, and see you in February.